Hey guys, Luma02. Currently doing another cube draft. So, this is a pick one, pack one. What are the picks? Well, Polluted Delta, Tinker, or Coalition Relic are probably the highest pickups in this pack. The most open pick of those is Polluted Delta. The highest upside card is Tinker, and kind of like the middle of the road is Coalition Relic. It just goes in a lot of decks, and it's just really strong. What life am I about right now? I mean, I won't wheel an artifact out of this pack, right? Tinker is just really good. Maybe I should just try this. I don't want to draft White Weenie every single time. I mean, if I was going to do that, there's really not even a card in this pack for it. We're going to pick up Tinker and try to see if we can get there on it. It's a cool deck. The Tinker decks tend to have to be like a show and tell / sneak attack deck as well. Because Tinker is just a sole win con, seems to be a little bit, it tends to be a little bit limited in my experience. It's just you either have it or you don't, and if you have it, you just win the game very easily if you have the right cards to support that plan. But if you don't, well, it's not that good. All right, Ancestral Vision is just not very good in this cube. It's just too slow is the problem. Sundering Titan is a target for Tinker, but because I picked up Tinker first pick, my initial inclination is to take Chrome Mox, because Chrome Mox goes into a variety of combo decks. It is fast mana at the cost of cards, but there are draw 7s in this cube. Darkslick Shores is also not uninteresting, but I tend to think Tinker goes best in a blue-red shell, but it can go in a Grixis shell as well. Sundering Titan's a good thing to get, but I'm going to take the Chrome Mox first, I think. Well, there was this pack. So, there's some big stuff in the beginning of the pack. There's Goblin Guy, which is just a great mono-red card. There's Sulfuric Vortex, which is also just a good mono-red card. Like, the two best red cards in the cube are in this pack. But I think I'm more inclined to take Mox Diamond here or Frantic Search. Frantic Search may wheel. It's probably a higher wheel than Mox Diamond, but I don't think either will. Treachery actually may wheel as well if folks have cubed this a lot that are playing with me right now in this cube. Burrow Signet's not, impossible to consider taking up there, but I think I'm going to take this. All right, well, there's an Inkwell Leviathan, but it's just a big kind of dumb thing. There's also an Is It Signet, which is just, good mana fixing for the colors that I kind of want to go into. And there's the Inkwell Leviathan, which is a 3-turn clock, which is exceedingly fair in cube. I found you kind of want to have your combo just kill them right away. All right, and there's Factor Fiction, which is very, very powerful. And I think I'm going to take over Ugin's the Spirit Dragon. Bizarre Baghdad's an interesting reanimator card. Trinket Mage is also intriguing, but I think Factor Fiction is just a more powerful card, and it allows us to kind of recuperate some of the lost card advantage we're going to have in this style of deck. We've got a Chrome Mox and a Mox Diamond right now, and an Is It Signet, which are just all cards that kind of just spend themselves to hopefully get you somewhere. It may not. We shall see. Alright, so blue is starting to dry up. There is a Dark Petition, which, is a storm card. And actually, we don't have a horrendous storm shell. There's also a bunch of land in this pack, to include the Overgrown Tomb and the Stomping Ground. The Inspiring Vantage is the third best of them, and they were said pretty much in order of merits. Luteral Core is a good reanimator card, but I don't feel like it's doing much more for me in this deck. I think I'm going to take Dark Petition here, and stay open to the possibility of maybe a Storm deck. Alright, there's Unburial Rites, there's Blood Crypt, there's Kodama's Reach. Alright, I'm not sure. I'm not intrigued by either Unburial Rites or Living Death. I just think Living Death. I just think they're too expensive for the effect. I'm gonna pick up the Crypt here. Okay, well, there is not much in this pack that would really inspire us, is there? There's an Ancient Grudge, which is just fine. Just a fine card. Nothing really good for, combo. I mean, Sacred Foundry is, one of the worst combo lands. Plateau and Sacred Foundry are both pretty bad. Most other lands I'd take, but, maybe we just take it here and try to stay a little more open because it looks like... Red Deck Wins is open. There's a Hell Rider here. Yeah. I'm going to take Ancient Grudge, actually. I'm going to take this. I'll play it main deck in this deck. Alright, there's a Battlelands, which goes on theme with our Blood Crypt as well, and gives us kind of a free Black Splash. There's also Baral, which is a pretty powerful card. It's not horrible. I'm going to pick up the Battlelands here. Okay, well, there's a Duress, which is a strong card. Sorry, I can't right now, man. Alright, let me get back to this, guys. I'm going to pick up the Darkslick Shores, I think, here over Duress. I think that's correct. There is possibly a good Reanimator shell going around as well. All right, Go for the Throat is fairly free. Godless Shrine, again, I don't really want to be playing white, but white appears to be open. Goblin Guide came around, but kind of as expected. I'm going to put Go for the Throat in the sideboard reluctantly. Collective Brutality, just a good card. There's also Mana Flare, which, again, this deck could be Storm. I mean, it could be Grixis Storm that we're building here. And then at that point, like, Collective Brutality is also not horrible, but Mana Flare is probably better. Alright, the upside on Flare is really high. I'm going to pick it up, I think. Okay, Bazaar Baghdad, Scrap Heap Scrounger. Scrap Heap Scrounger is a thing that we can tinker away. Bazaar is just kind of medium. I'll pick up the Scrounger here. I mean, we may play Flare. And I'll pick up a Stomping Ground. Like, our mana is really good. So, like, mana is going late in this draft. Frantic Search did not come around of note. I wasn't really scoping Storm cards that hard to see if it was really open. But, I mean, this is a good shell to a Storm deck. I don't think it's horrible. Then there's Jace the Mind Sculptor, and there's Tendrils of Agony. Is there any other combo card before we take Jace? There really isn't in this pack. Like, Chart of Course could go into combo decks. It's not bad. But I think Jace is the pretty easy pickup here. And if we don't wheel Tendrils of Agony, then we're going into probably a bad deck. That's okay. I mean, like, I've drafted enough of these that I kind of want to just, have a little more fun with it. So I'm trying not to fall into tendencies, which is to, like, generally corner a strategy. Per se, Death and Taxes or White Weenie. And do really well with it. But I think these tend to be more fun. I mean, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing, the Mana Flare or not. We may go into, like, some sort of, like, Tinker control deck. Because Chrome Mox and Mox Diamond aren't bad with a Jace the Mind Sculptor and a Factor Fiction. I mean, those are two ways to recoup card advantage after ditching cards really early. But, again, our mana is really great. Like, we have, the Moxen that we've picked up, the Signet. Okay, let's look here. All right, there's a Snapcaster Mage, which is a solid card. I don't really have a lot that goes with Snapcaster, but I'm not really opposed to picking it up either. There's also Force of Will, which goes pretty good in combo, and then Manamorphose, which is also quite good. But I think the pick here is probably Snapcaster Mage, just because this card is really powerful and can go into a wider variety of decks than Manamorphose should or probably could. Force of Will could go into a heavier blue deck, but this deck does not appear to be exceedingly blue. I mean, it's got blue in it, but I don't know if it's all that blue. All right, well, combo appears to be drying up. I don't. This card right here is too speculative. Like the expansion part is really powerful if you get to use it that way. The explosion part is just very mana intensive. I think what I'm going to do is take True Name Nemesis and kind of start falling into like possibly a blue-red shell. All right. That said, I mean we have some strong cards here. I think the card that we're going to take because it's the most open is Impulse. I do like Wooded Foothills. And I do like Fiery Confluence. I do like a Braid. There are a lot of great cards. There's also Thousand Year Storm, which is probably the more imaginative pick. But I think what I like doing here is just taking Impulse and staying a little bit more open. And we'll probably wheel something decent out of that pack. Okay, so there's Frost Titan, which is kind of like a big, dumb thing that can finish the game. But I think what I'm going to do is just take Lightning Strike. I think what's happening here is we're going into more of a blue-red fair deck. That tends to happen to me quite a bit in these cubes if I just stay open. We can take Windswept Heath. What does that get us? It gets us the Stomping Ground, and that's it. And Stomping Ground fixes for red and green for the fix on Ancient Grudge, but I think I would prefer to have just this card right here because it's just very good. The Sphinx of the Steel Wind is a good finisher with Tinker, but I think what I'm going to do is I may leave Tinker in, but I don't think I'm going to headline the card. Flooded Strand does not do much for me. Jace Architect of Thought is just kind of medium. I'm probably going to take Lightning Burst here, or Burst Lightning here. Okay, so there's a Desperate Ritual, which is kind of a combo card. There's also Needle Spire, which allows us to go into white, which is not horrible. But I think what I'm going to do here is just take a Jutai. I mean, we may go into a Jeskai Shell. Because white, again, is wheeling. I mean, like Mother of Runes and Elspeth, Knight Errant. Guys, White Weenie is great. Please try it sometime. I'm going to pick up Manic Vandal here, though. I'm not doing that. I'm off that train. I'm going to try not to play white at all. Like, I could probably have a decent Jeskai, like, aggro control deck based on some of the wheels we've seen. But, I don't know. I'm trying to have a little more fun here. I don't think Storm is open. Like, well, I know it's not. Someone took Tendrils, so like I'm off that train. Like that train's come and gone. So Darkslick Shores is kind of questionable. The black fixing lands, I don't know if I'm going to need them to be honest. Like if we got a fetch land that fetched for swamps, I mean, I guess it makes our red it fixes for red at that point. So So, I mean, like if we got like a Marsh Flats or something. I mean, we could play Stomping Ground because it's a kind of a free splash for Ancient Grudge as well. Okay, so there's a Blackleaf Cliffs. I mean, I probably need to stay open to playing black in this deck. And or green. Like, Huntmaster is a fine card, but I think I'm going to take Blackleaf Cliffs because that's like my third... That's my fourth land that fixes for black. So, like, black is such a free splash in this deck. Okay. Well, PN, Kieran, Nalar, or this thing. Copy target sorcery with converted master. Alright, you might choose some targets for it. Okay. God, this card is so mana intensive. I don't know, guys. I don't think it's this thing. I think it's probably Pia and Kieran. It's just kind of a fair card. Our Braid came around, and a Braid's a good pickup. I'm not unhappy with a Braid. Alright, pick up Xenagos. Alright, the Pia Nalar, sure. So Tinker is not looking at its best. We have passed up on some Tinker targets, though. Flame Tunkavu, talk all the crap you want on it. It has gotten old. Like, it is an older card now. It's kind of, showing its age. But, like, I've still accrued a lot of value with the card in this cube. That's why I took Burst Lightning over it. Because I had faith that it would wheel. Even though, like, Vu is, like, once it has been cast, a better card. Obviously, the mana input that needs to go into it is a lot higher than Burst Lightning, so the ceiling on it, at times, can be a little lower. And obviously, Burst Lightning can also do the same thing. If you want to spend 5 mana, you can do the same thing as Vu. Alright, well, Time Walk is very powerful, as is Mox Ruby. Blightsteel Colossus is something we can find with Tinker, but I think this deck may just be better off with a Wormcoil engine, to be honest. Because it's pretty fair. But I think here... I don't really know if it's the Ruby or the Walk. I'm not quite sure. I think it's probably the Walk because of Snapcaster, but it's close for me. I'm going to pick up the Walk. Alright, Control Magic is A-okay. It's a fine card. Underground Sea would be like our millionth fix for black mana, but we're just not seeing a lot of black cards we really want to run in this deck. I think we're just going to pick up a Lightning Bolt here and hope to wheel maybe a Control Magic, but probably just a Magus of the Moon. Our fixing, not great in this deck. But it is just a blue-red deck at heart right now, so I mean, we probably don't need to play Ancient Grudge. That's probably not a need. Alright, so Mana Drain. Yeah, that seems ridiculously good. And it is steps above everything else in this pack. So, first counterspell of the draft. I mean, if the Blightsteel does wheel, I mean, I'll probably play Tinker. I mean, I've got, Signet, 2x Moxen. Yeah, maybe I would. I've got the Pia and Kieran Nalar. I've got the Pia Nalar. Yeah, it's probably worth it. Here, I mean, we could take Fixing, but I think Mystic Confluence is a very, very powerful card and can be used for in a lot of ways. So I'm going to pick it up. I mean, it's slow. It's very slow. But we're kind of like just an aggro control deck, right? That's all we've kind of come up to. That's kind of what we've mounted to. All right, JVP. That gets back, Time Walk, Impulse... A lot of bolts and burn, factor fiction. Yeah, I'm feeling JVP right now. I do like Firebolt to no small extent. I don't mind Gush, but Gush is not a card I have found a lot of homes for in the cube. You just oftentimes don't want to go that far back on mana. You have to tell me what you thought of the Time Walk over the Ruby there. It's really close for me. Like Time Walk, This deck may not fully be exploiting Time Walk, but the ability to recurse it, I mean, now, and this is a post-hoc assessment with JVP plus Snapcaster, I think gives it a pretty big game. The problem is this deck's just really fair, right? Like, it's just a really, really fair deck. But it has some cool things going on. It's got a Braid plus a Manic Vandal, so it can blow up some artifacts if that's kind of one of the things we're facing. It's got a decent bit of low-end burn, so I mean, against red deck, or not red deck wins, against like white weenie decks, and against green decks, we may be able to burn off their early mana dorks and possibly get there. You got Vu to do that as well. True Name Nemesis is pretty tough for the aggro decks to get through. Like white, its Council's Judgment are pretty much a bust or fly over it, basically. Although I will state that it's not very easy to race those style of decks. So if you have TNN, oftentimes you're just sitting back with the thing on defense. Alright, well, Counterspell or Sword of Feast and Famine. I think, and Palace Jailer, if I had the white fix, I would be playing, but I could also take a Hostage Taker because we could play it in this deck. I think it's a pretty easy Counterspell over Sword of Feast and Famine, although I actually would not mind one sword in this deck. Alright, so this pack has nothing at all for us. Well, that's unfortunate. What's the best card in this pack? In a vacuum? Possibly Plow Under or Temple Garden. I'm going to take Temple Garden because the card's just so good. Like, dual lands are just really great. Now, obviously, like the dual lands in the white or the green white green-red and red-white domains tend to be the worst in Vintage Cube, or at least folks assess them that way. And oftentimes they are. I mean, like, blue decks tend to just be the most powerful, right? And Tinker, I'm sorry, buddy, you got to get out of here. I don't think we're going to wield that Blightsteel Colossus. And even if we did, I don't know how good it would be. Could play Scrap Heap, too. Scrap Heap he's a scrapper, and we could play the black fixing. Yeah, not a lot here, but Dreadbore is pretty free, right? So we'll pick it up. I mean, if we want to play it, we can play it. Well, this is an interesting one. I do think it's probably Phyrexian Revoker here, because it's a very playable card. Mishra's Factory is not bad. As you can tell, white is just wide open. Like, the white-black Death and Taxes deck, wide open. And I'm not saying it's great, guys. I'm not saying it's great by any means, but it's a fine deck. It's not bad. All right, Lava Claw reaches, sure. I mean, now if we want to play black cards, we can. All right, yeah, again, there's nothing for us. What's the best card here? If someone wants a Shallow Grave, I want to let them do it. I'll take Blade Splicer, sure. I'm not going to play it, but we're at what, 23? Ooh. Oh, Spirebluff Canal is a free pickup, basically. It's a free fixing pickup. That's nice. I mean, the question is, do I want to play a black card? Because I don't need to play Phyrexian Revoker. I'll play Revoker in this deck. It's a fine card. It's really not bad. I mean, you can shut off Planeswalkers, shut off not land abilities, Planeswalkers. Best card here in a vacuum, Coder, pretty easily. Coder is also probably the card that's least cast in that pile. I would assume the Wall is probably the most cast, then Spectral Procession, then Coder inside Cube, because white-green just tends to not be a thing that people play. Yep, again, white weenie cards coming around. And guys, the deck is great. The deck is great. I know like not a lot of people watch my Cube material, but please, if you watch this, go watch my white drafts. They are so easy. It's an easy draft. It's generally a pretty easy, at least 2-1, but I've gone 3-0 with it like over 50%. I think this time around I've done 6 of them and gone 3-0 with 4 of them and 2-1 the rest of the time. So it's a good deck. It's not that bad. All right, so this is a 17 lander. I think that's fine. Yeah, we have some decent draw. What do I think of this deck? This deck is very fair. I think it's going to have a tougher time closing out games. It doesn't have any big finishers. But, YOLO. Yep, YOLO it. We've got some flyers, too. We've also got Zealous Constructs, which can end games. That's going to be the big problem, though. It doesn't have, like, an Inferno Titan. My last version of this deck had an Inferno Titan, and that card was just... That ended a lot of games. It has a lot of 2-drops, though. It's got, some good counter magic. We've got the Mystic Confluence, we've got the Drain, we've got the actual counter spell. So, none of that's bad. I don't mind any of that. Also got some good fast mana. Yeah, this deck's good. It's not bad. I'd say it's a 2-1 deck, more than likely. Unfortunately, the Tinker did not come to pass, but I gave up on some picks where I could have taken, like, Tinker bots, and just didn't. Because I just thought it would be worse overall. The most free was like the Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which is still just like a very medium card. I mean, if it sticks and they don't have an answer to it, I mean, it can just win you the game, but it's very slow. Like, really, if I'm going to be tinkering, like, I don't even know, like, probably Mindslaver. Like, there's probably 2 targets. Mindslaver, if I can lock the combo up, or Blightsteel Colossus. But, like, Blightsteel Colossus, I would rather just Through the Breach or Sneak Attack, because it's just like an auto win. I mean, I guess if you're playing Greaves as well, but, like, Greaves is just such a medium card on its own. If you don't have that A plus B going on with your hand, it's just like, it's so medium to have one half of it, not the other. Yeah, the downside of this deck is it does not have a lot of threats. I mean, it's got, and they're all pretty fair threats, pretty incremental threats, like Snapcaster, the Revoker, the True Name, the Manic Vandal, the Pia Nalar, the Flame Tongue Kavu, the Pia and Kira Nalar, and then the Zealous Conscripts. And I suppose Jace is a threat as well. But we've got basically like the ability to double time walk with this deck. We've got a lot of burn to kind of support that plan. So we shall see. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play here, guys. And hopefully our first round opponent hits us up relatively soon for a game. And we can, figure out how this deck is going to fare. My estimation of it is probably going to be a 2-1 deck at best, if I play optimally with it. I should snippet image this, just in case I need to reference the deck, because I've played a lot of these now, and sometimes they blend together. Alrighty. So we got that if we need it. Alright, opponent going first. Well, this hand's kind of medium. It's kind of rough on the mana. I'm going to mull this. I got 17 lands in my deck. I can do better. Alright, I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to bottom that, actually, and hope to hit an island here. I mean, I've got Burst Lightning, which is kind of like another function of that. Now they're going to play a Mana Dork, right? Yep. Alright, well, you burn the birds off, right? And then we can, if they play a turn 2 Road Fellows. Alright, well, there's the island we really want. I mean, you definitely bolt the birds here. Obviously, in this context, like maybe having multiple bolts would have been better, but Phyrexian Revoker does hit mana abilities, which is also pretty sweet. So if they play like a turn 2 dude, and it looks like they are going to play a turn 2 dude and a Mox Sapphire. Okay. Well, what do we turn off here? Probably the Llanowar Elves. Or do we? Yeah, Llanowar Elves is probably correct. I think green mana is going to be more essential to a Bayou plus Llanowar Elves plus Birds of Paradise deck. I could be wrong on that. And then the question is, I mean, depending on what we draw, what do we do next turn? I mean, do we go for the Chrome Mox Jace play? All right, Arbor Elf, cool. And do they have counter spells in their deck as well? They could. Yep, I'll trade you. Whew. Alright, tough choice, guys. So I think what we have to do here is this. I'm going to go for this turn. I'm going to have to get rid of the fact I really did not want to draw a land there. I wanted to draw basically anything but a land. I am going to bounce this dude this turn just to take them off curve. Now, if they like counter this, oof, that's bad. Alright, we're going to return this dude and say, hey, replay him next turn, and then we'll try to find some burn. Okay. Okay, Mox Diamond, not an exceedingly great find. Okay, well, at a minimum... I'm going to try to time walk here. Get this down. And see if there's something on the third card down. I mean, I'm going to at least keep this counter spell, right? Oh, Foo's pretty good, too. I mean, the issue here is I think we just keep counter spell up and play our land drop for the turn. I don't think it matters if Jace goes to 1. And I can Voo their next well, I can counter their next play and then Voo the Arbor Elf. Voo is basically burn. But if I Vooed this turn, I would have had to put the land back, and then I would have been short on counter magic, right? Yep, you got it. It's going to be like a Trigon Predator. Let Trigons be Trigons. No, an Oracle of Moldiah. No, thank you. I'm going to counter this. I don't think it's a great counter target, but I don't want them to get a bunch of free lands off the top. All right, we're going to draw again. Alright, we're going to Manic Vandal their Mox Sapphire. And strike it again for 3. Obviously, I'm not Vooing again, but what can you do? Decisions, right? This takes them off double blue, which can be relevant in some cases if they are running any counter magic. And takes them back a land drops. It's kind of the same as blowing up the Arbor Elf. But I have an answer for Arbor Elf, or whatever else they may play this next turn. I mean, they could try to, like... Alright, Channel? Okay, Channel is dicey for us. That's spooky. Well, don't go to 3, my man. They have like an Ulamog. Okay, an Ugin to blow up all of the permanents. Okay, well, Ugin's pretty good here. Ugin's pretty miserable, actually. Alright, you got it. But they are down to 5. Alright, Mox Diamond, horrendous. Still. Well, now that we know they have channel in their deck, maybe we should have waited. It doesn't look like they're going to do much else. Alright, I'm just going to say go. I could play that out, but I don't think it does a whole lot. What else have you got, my man? Play something out. Alright, burn me. Alrighty. This is pretty bad. Oh, actually, Zealous Conscripts is our best draw, right? Alright, they're only up to 9, so we have 2 more draw steps, right? I'm going to go ahead and impulse here. Wow. Well, at a minimum, it doesn't really matter what we take here. At a minimum, they are all on the bottom. That was a rough impulse, though, guys. 4 lands on top. Oof. Oof. Alright, well. Ostensibly, that means, yep. Down to 8. Alright, survival. Cool. Yeah. That just happened, guys. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was some land clumpage right there. 5 lands off of our land. Like we drew some lands. That was savage. Yikes. I assume we're going to get Craterhoof Behemoth down here. This is a thing that can happen. This is a horrendous variance, though. I think we were probably like in the 80th percentile probably to win this game. Even post-channel, I think we were still very strong due to having, just some of our outs we have in deck. Yep, you got it. You're up to 14, and you can play, well, basically most of your deck. If we're lucky, maybe they have a flyer, and, we get to steal that. Now, if they have Craterhoof, they just win this turn. And they can have Craterhoof unless they accidentally pass through. All right, they have Hoof. So we're dead. But we get to see some more cards. They have a bunch of Walkers. Primeval Titan. Okay. And I think am I dead? I'm not dead. Because Hoof only hits me for 7. Right? This thing does what? Oh, wait, they can put counters on it with Nissa. Okay. I'll go ahead and concede there. Well, actually, let's wait. Let's see if they get any more special lands. Oh, they won't from their Titan. So I'll go ahead and concede this one. They got me. Fair and square. Well, we did hit a lot of lands there. That was pretty savagely bad. Okay, so what do we need in this matchup? Do I need anything else? I want to put the Black Splash in to go for the throat and whatnot. Got a Braid, Lightning Strike, Bolt, Burst Lightning. Manic Vandal seems good enough. Maybe I want the go for the throat and the Dreadbore. What do we think of that? I don't think it's horrible. So, we cut this, put this, hell, even this in, and we cut 2 more Mountains. We can cut the Phyrexian Revoker, I think. Put in Dreadbore. What else do I think I would like over... Maybe is it Signet? And then we can play Go for the Throat as well. Just sideboard into the Grixis plan, just for 2 cards, really. But, I mean, it's pretty free, right? Yeah, okay. This is a keepable hand. I mean, it's got a Go for the Throat. It's got 2 of our sideboard cards that we brought in against our opponent. It's also got an Impulse. It wants to hit mana. It also has the card, the Zealous Conscripts we were looking for, like the card that would have just probably won us the game. Yeah, that Impulse for 4 lands. Draw land, Impulse for 4 lands. See if land on top was rough beats, my friends. Rough beats. Alright, Mana Dork, birds again. Okay, Mox. Wall. No, this thing. Okay. Well, that's more of a problem. Alright, Vu, not a good draw. So we're going to Impulse here and or leave up the Go for the Throat, but probably Impulse, I think. Alright, Strip Mine. What do they blow up? They blow that up. Okay. Well, I will Impulse. Probably into a red land. And we'll say any order on that. I don't think it's going to be that relevant. Yep, you got it. So try to go for a value strip mine, I guess. All right, I got to stop drawing my my 5-mana spells. I think this deck does have a decent 2-drop curve spot, and this is unfortunate that we've drawn a bunch of 4s. Well, a 4 and a 5. Very unfortunate. All right, a 6 slime going to the bin. Okay, get a Sylvan Caryatid. Well, that card I cannot kill. So that's going to help fix their mana. All right, they find a land as well. Okay. Now I really need to hit mana. So oh, deck, why do you got to do me like that? This is rough. This is rough. Maybe I should have mulled it, but I don't think so. I think that would have been wrong. At least Jace will help set it up. They did not, of note, survival on my end step, which means they likely did not have a creature in hand, which is, well, maybe they drew into one. All right, they get rid of Craterhoof. Okay. They could have Recurring Nightmare as well, which would be, well, that'd be a thing. Okay, Ulamog, cool. Well, what do they get here? Like Wall of Roots? We know the Time Walk's on bottom, which is kind of sad, but I don't think we could take it there responsibly. I mean, we'd be banking to draw into a land, like, pretty exactly, and then it would just be Explore at that point. So I think it was right to take land there post-Strip Mine. Okay, Primeval Titan, cool. Okay, land. Well, come on, mana. Well, guys, not feeling good. Alright, so they have mana next turn. I'm going to destroy their artifact here and see if we can take them off prime time next turn. Bide some time. Yeah, that Strip Mine did pretty well for them. Alright, that's still not a prime time, right? This is an Acidic Slime? Oh, Huntmaster, okay. Well, that's going to get bolted pretty assuredly. Alright, land into Counterspell. Alright, that's step 1. Alright, draw. Alright, TNN. Not feeling very good here, guys. Not feeling good at all. I'm representing Counterspell. They could have thought my hand was greedy or not jam into it. Alright, I can't do anything about that. Alright. I don't think we can come off this story yet. I think we need to draw into land naturally to get Mystic Confluence up. We also cannot mill them with JVP's ability. Alright, more plants. Cool. Alright, they're just going to jam it. Cool. Well, the good news is, I mean, if they're doing this, and I'll probably find my land. They could possibly steal this thing. Alright, well, Strip Mine's back. Cool. Thing is here, if they draw a creature card, I guess I can kill the Nissa this turn, though, more than likely. Okay. Probably take this pile. Now the question is, do they draw a creature, and are they able to kill me next turn? Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. All right, survivaling. Just gonna get the hoof, das Hoof. All right, Hoof. Hoof is in the house. Does Hoof kill me right now? It probably does. It's probably very, very close. If it does not. 8. Yep. Okay, Hoof. Yeah, I'm dead. This really sucks. They had to hit the critter, but they had it. So they drew into it. That sucks. And game over. Unfortunately, early mana development issues, I think, kind of led to the loss in this one. I don't think we had a horrendous game plan. I mean, maybe they attacked incorrectly, but I don't think they did. I didn't look. So yeah, we're at -1. They got there. Sweet. So, on to game 2. Kind of an unfortunate series of events. Just getting kind of mana screwed off a mulligan, and then, mull game 1 as well with a double red source and opening hand. I think that could happen to double-colored decks, though. The fixing tends to be a little bit worse. I'm not entirely sure that we should be playing the Grixis Splash, but the Grixis Splash is really only good against creatures, because we don't really have great black cards. We don't have discard black cards. So I think blue-red just pure is probably a better deck. Now against that deck, I think the black splash is really good. And who knows? I mean, our chances go up quite a bit if we had not gotten strip mined early in that game, because we did have an opportunity to blow up the Nissa, which probably would have changed the course of the game for the better. This hand's not great, but I have a hard time throwing this one back. If I'm against creatures, I'm going to probably get overrun. If I'm against most other things, like combo or control, this hand's good. Against aggro, this hand's kind of marginal unless we get lucky and sack a red source off the top. I'm going to keep it, though. I have not an insignificant number of mountains in the deck. All right, well, it looks like we're playing against everyone's favorite red deck wins. So, maybe not. Maybe we're playing against Reanimator, which also may be a struggle fest of a hand against that, because folks do not tend to play around a lot of counter magic. Yeah, they're playing Reanimator of some variety. Jace is good against Reanimator, though. Alright, well, that's an uncastable card, so Island go. Do they play around Pierce? Probably not. They probably don't play around Pierce or Force Spike. Force Spike I do not believe is in this. I don't think they should either. I don't think they should play around either, because, I mean, once I get to 2 mana, the opportunities for me to counter something just go up so high. Okay, well, that's not as bad as it could be. I'm going to lose a lot of cards, but they're also going to lose their Ulamog here. I'll take 10 and lose a lot of my deck, but... Alright. I don't like this, but I mean, I'm also not just dead to it either. Now, obviously casting Fact or Fiction is a much more dubious prospect. But I'm not dead in the water this either. I mean, I do need to draw red mana, and I don't know how much I have left in my deck. I should probably count 1, 2, 3. I have red mana left. Alright. We have like a Necromancy for the Elish Anorn. Or just a Buried Alive or something. Alright, nothing. I'm going to play this dude out. I'm not probably going to use him, actually. Oddly enough, I probably will not use him. If I had a sword in the deck, it'd be good, because I just... I'm casting him just to cast him. So if we get goozled by a Mind... Actually, if we got goozled by Mind Twist, it's probably better to leave him in my hand. But I have plenty of bad cards. I have basically 2 cards I want to keep, which are Jace and the Island. But Jace is really the operative piece, because I do have more lands left in my deck. I'm going down to 9 here. Jace takes how many turns to... Alright, so they have this card. Cool. Jace does kind of hose the Reanimator strategy, though. Okay. They could just reanimate an Elish Norn, and yeah, that'd be a thing. And if they have Wheel of Fortune, they could kill me by milling me, but what else do they have in here? Alright, Necrotal, Sheldred, Sneak Attack. Okay. Alrighty. Well, we may be getting goozled this one, guys. We may be going 1-2. I'm not feeling very good about this match as it stands right now. At least this game, I'm not feeling great about. Alright, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I'm at 9 cards, so I have ostensibly 9 draw steps. I'm just going to start hammer fisting their top deck. Nope. You can have that. That is perfectly fine. I'm going to leave this dude back just in case we need to block a hasted in dude. Like, if they, like, haste in for some reason, a Sheldred or an I guess Elish Norn wouldn't matter, but... Alright, I can abrade that if I ever get red mana, but I'm not going to draw to it. I'm just going to sit here and kind of just let them try to go off and then try to go off on my own with Jace. Basically, like, 2 ships passing in the night, and we're just hoping that they miss. But Jace... I do have to take a turn off for Jace to bounce at the thing that they reanimate, but that's still going to be probably positive for them because I'm at 9 cards in deck. I mean, there is a chance that Jace just wins us the game. It's pretty low. Alright, they can Necrotal... Yeah, oh, Recurring Nightmare. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. Although... Alright, I'm going to look at your top deck, my man. Nope. You may have that. Or they can Bone Shredder my Jace and then put into play like a Sheldred. Okay, yep, Bone Shredder the Jace. Cool. And then what do they put into play? It could be Elish Norn, but I mean, either way, I'm probably just going to bounce it. I mean, if it's a Sheldred, do I care that much? I probably bounce a Sheldred, right? I mean, they should Recurring Nightmare this thing. You could also just pay for it. What is exiled? Mana Drain and Counterspell? No, just Mana Drain. So I still have a Counterspell in my deck. Okay, on Sheldred, okay. Well, Sheldred will either get bounced or burned off. Okay. Okay. Alright, have her back. Play this out. Alrighty. This is minus 12, right? Yeah, minus 12. So I've got to make it 3 turns of upping Jace. Basically 4 turns on their turn. It's not very likely this happens. But, I don't know. I mean, we could just beat down, too. We'd lose Zealous Conscripts. Alright, do I care about that? I'll counter it. I'll counter it. I could just also just win by burning them out too, right? They could try to reanimate here. Alright, Zealous Conscripts is a big draw. Nope. I'm going to leave Burst Lightning up, I think. There's also rationale to like leaving one of these things back to block like an instant speed reanimated thing that targets the Jace. Okay, lands. They're playing the lands out as opposed to using Bazaar, which is, well, bizarre to me. Yep, you got it. Okay. I am just going to throw a Burst Lightning at their face, because damage is a legitimate win con here. Recurring Nightmare. I'm going to let them have that. However, I'm going to blow this artifact up. So when they draw it, it's not very good. They could draw, keep one. Off of Bazaar. Yep. Now, Recurring Nightmare is dead to them, so they have to basically get the Elish Norn back, probably hit the Jace. The worst thing for me to see, wow. Alright, guys. I did not really expect to get there on that one. Obviously, they just did not see anything good with Bazaar. Alright, so against Reanimator, do we want the splash? Like, we didn't see, like, a Gristlebrand, which is a card you really don't care about. I mean, you have to kill it, but, like, you don't feel good about killing it. Most of their stuff seemed pretty good to kill. Do we want, like, the Black Splash for, like, Dreadbore and Go for the Throat? Like, Dreadbore seems kind of medium. Go for the Throat, maybe. I mean, one of their targets is unkillable, right? So, I think here we can probably take the Vu out. Probably put in the Go for the Throat. We probably still play Dreadbore. And we take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Play in this. And then we're at 19 lands. We need to cut 2 more mountains. And then this is 17 lands. 1 more card. Signet, I think, again. I think this is it. I think this is what we want to play here. We can go down a land because we're on the draw rather. That was a weird game of Magic. I'll say that much. Did not feel like I was winning it. I was like, well, if this Jace goes all the way, it goes all the way. Otherwise, I mean, Jace is a tough card for Reanimator to beat if they don't have like the busted stuff like Gristlebrand. But they also showed Sneak Attack, which is spooky. Alright, well, I mean, this has Go for the Throat to kill like a creature. If they reanimate it, also has a threat, so I'm going to keep this. I mean, it's not great, guys, but I don't think you pitch this one back. We don't really have great hands against Reanimator. Play this, leave up Burst Lightning in case they play JVP. JVP is a card that could very much so be in their deck. So could the Luteral Core. The other discarders, you know, I guess Una's Prowler, like you generally don't want to kill, but... Okay, well, looks like they're doing something here. They have a dude. Buried Alive. Alright, Buried Alive is very spooky. Very, very spooky. But not much can be done about it. I mean, now the question is, they're going to get their best. Like, their best, right? So they have Iona. Iona would be pretty good. Alright, Ulamog, Primetime, Sheldred. Okay. I don't think in good conscience we could just throw the true name out there, because if they slam a Sheldred, I just lose my true name. That's just too bad. Like, it's just a really bad play, I think. And the chance that they have something on 4+1 card off draw step is pretty high, so I'm gonna buy it. Okie doke. Although I would be less timorous about playing out Pia and Kieran Nalaar, because I mean, if you have to sack one of the 1/1s for that, it's not really horrendous. It's not great, but it's not the worst either. So, I mean, if we draw a land next turn, I probably will pitch a land to Mox Diamond and play out the PN Kieran, I think. Now the question is, they play around counter magic. Maybe they don't even have it. Maybe they just wanted to resolve that, so they just had, fuel. All right, Dreadbore, also a good pickup. All right, we're going to see how bad this can be. Because I have 2 kill spells. Like, the only thing I cannot kill is the Ulamog, which is a feel-bad moment, but I don't know. I just feel like you can't play scared around it all day long either. I feel like I need to actually get something going. If they have it, they have it. And then I'm hoping to hit Jace and just bounce it. I mean, like, the risk they run with Ulamog is that I can bounce it. So, like, it is better to just actually attack me with it, like, right away, like, get the instant speed one. Because if I have the bounce, like, they just probably lose the game, right? But, that aside, they're also at 25 cards. I mean, if I hit, like, conscripts, I could survive this. I'd have to hit pretty exactly, like, land conscripts. Actually, did that even work? Yeah, it would work. Like, land conscripts would work. Jace would work. Mystic Confluence land would work as well against the Ulamog land. My guess would be if they do this, though, if they have, like, not a hasty reanimation effect, they probably... All right, they're going for this. That makes sense to me. And I like that play by my opponent, because if I do have Jace, I showed him last game, I can just blow him out. I think it's a little less ballsy than getting Ulamog back, but I think it's good. I think it's a good line. Now, we haven't really seen a way that they cast the back half of Burial Rites yet. All right, so... Well, I'm not really that scared of Shell.Isle, am I? Because I can represent counter magic next turn. I'm going to use this. Another question is, I mean... We know they have Iona, or not Iona, they didn't show us Elish Norn. I think they would have put Elish Norn in there over, like, the Sheldred. So I'm going to put this thing down, because I got to get a clock on him. Like, next turn I can do a lot of damage. And I may come down to a race here. They have a ton of mana, and they have the ability to use the Shelldock here. Actually, they do not yet, do they? They're at 21 cards, so actually they're a little short. I mean, they could make it so. I mean, they could get the prime time back and then, get 2 more lands out and be at 19, and then make whatever's underneath there castable. But I'm not really under a clock right now, so I think I need to pressure them. And I don't know if they have a way to cast the back half of Burial Rites, or if they do, it's probably artifact mana. Because I think they would have gotten that with prime time if they had, like, a white mana source in there. As it stands, they're playing every other color in the game of Magic, so they're at a minimum 4-color Reanimator. Possibly 5-color with Burial Rites if they have a way of casting it with Flashback. What do we have next turn in damage if we don't get interrupted? We have 4 off Burst Lightning, plus 3, 7, 9, plus 2, 11. So down to 4. This hand can certainly race. Alright, we're casting something here. Is it like maybe it could be a Wrath too. It could be like a Living Death. Living Death would be pretty horrendous, but it's 6 mana. Is it? Okay, this thing. Alright. Steal a critter from me? Or blow up a land, I guess. But this thing dies, right? Is it plus 3? Alright, it's plus 3. Okay. Alright, Domugan down. This deck is wild that we're playing against. I'm going to show Counter Magic again, just to make them play scared around it. They have Shell.Isle now, too, but, I'm going to kill an Ugin. Like, I don't think I can let that thing just go. Ugin, I'm sorry, Nicol Bolas. I have never seen that card played in Vintage Cube, so good on him. No judgments from me. Faithless Looting, sure. Their deck looks wonky as hell. Okay. We have Faithlessly Looted here. Okay. It is dead. Are they going to play around a counterspell for what I assume is probably a Recurring Nightmare in their hand? It feels like a Recurring Nightmare very strongly. Alrighty. They can start attacking back. They do have the Lumbering Falls. They hit for 5, I hit for 4, but I think they have to expect that I've shown them burn. Alright. Are we getting hit here? Might as well. I'm not blocking that thing. Or they're not blocking with that thing. Alright. Recurring Nightmare. I think they're going to go for it here. I don't know why they didn't do it last turn. Oh, this thing? Okay. They can... Oh, boy. They're going to go for it. I like their guts, but I don't know if it's going to work out. Okay. Huh. Alright, yep, I just passed it, I think. I think I just leave up Burst Lightning and say, hey, figure it out. I could have put out the Phyrexian Revoker and named Recurring Nightmare, but I don't really see how I lose this, right? I guess I could loop it a bunch of times and, like, alright, Clasm. Okay. That doesn't kill the Shrewd Nemesis. It has protection from all your stuff, so that's not really the answer you were looking for here. It does deal with the 1/1 and the Necrotal, but it also means that Recurring Nightmare is now worse if that's a card they have in hand. I mean, if they had Recurring Nightmare, they would have done it, though, on the Necrotal, right? Alright, Faithless Looting. Well, now if they find a reanimation effect, they could get back Sheldred, and then I'm kind of back to top deck mode, because I'm going to put them to 1 life. And then I need to hit pretty soon, right? Okay. So Bone Shredder and Dragon go to the bin. Do they find a reanimation spell? They did. I think they got to go for it. Their deck looks kind of all over the place, though. But I'm in the 0-1 bracket right now, so no offense to you, Blank Slate 128, but sometimes you get some jankier decks in the 1-2 or the 0-1 bracket. So What do we have? All right, Shallow Grave on what? Okay. All right, that can hit me for a lot of damage for 5 specifically, but that's all it does. I guess they're just one last hurrah. All right, I'm going to show them this because their Shelldock Isle is tapped. All right, so get burned, and then next turn I attack you for lethal. All right, cool. All right, so 1-1 right now with this this blue-red build. I don't think it's the best blue-red build, but it's also not horrible. Like, you know, I think we did get a little unlucky in round 1. I'm not saying we would have won that matchup, but I think we probably had our deck had a better game in it than it played in game 2. We just really suffered on mana. Well, we mulliganed and then we suffered on mana quite a bit. You know, got a little unlucky on mana. But what can you do? That is life sometimes. Okay, yeah, this hand's keepable. I mean, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. It's got some good stuff going on in it. You know, namely, it has a mana drain, and then if we get to mana drain a 2-drop, I mean, we could do something bonkers like... I mean, if we mana drain a 3-drop and we draw into a red source, we could drop a Manic Vandal plus a TNN, right? So, that's a thing. I mean, honestly, my hope is they play a Signet. Yep, that's what we want to see. Now, we hope they don't have days, but if they have days, oh well. And so far, this draw has been great. So, Manic Vandal, hit the Boros Signet, and go to, well, their next turn. Alright. So they may be Jeskai. Like either Jeskai Twin or Jeskai Tempo, who knows? Hard telling. Alright, lands, and what else do we have? A DAC or something? Alright, Manamorphose to fix. Cool. The hope is here they don't have their own TNN. I guess we can race TNN. Alright, they make green mana. Interesting. Okay, they're trying to ramp out? Okay. That's cool. Alright. Well, I think we'll attack here. There's a possibility they just strike in with the Wandering Fumarole next turn, which I think I'd be fine with. Their deck looks like it's kind of all over. It's a Storm deck of some variety. Mana Drain may or may not be good against it. I mean, I'm going to cast it here. If they do nothing on their next turn, my guess is they're going to try to drop like a draw 7 after burning through that many cards, but we'll see. Ancient Grudge is probably coming in. That card's fine. Okay, Llanowar Elves, cool. If they do nothing else, I'm just going to cast the Factor Fiction. If they don't do anything I need to counter with Mana Drain, I'll cast Factor Fiction on their end step. But I'm not really frightened by what we've got going on right now. Okay. Yep. This deck is weird. Opposition. It could be an opposition deck. That'd be kind of cool. Alright, Pented Prism. Yep, cool. Now, if they go for like a Time Twister, I'm just going to counter that. But if they do nothing else... Alright, that's all they got. Alright, they're done. Maybe they could have days. Alright, Time Walk looks pretty good here. I'd like Time Walk and lands. If they just give me all of the mana and like the Lightning Bolt, alright, I was going to say, I think you have to give me something else to Time Walk. I don't think Time Walk's like, oh, Mox Diamond 2? I will, okay, not that. Okay. We'll blow this up. Take a time walk turn. I will trade them for their Shardless Agent if they'd like. My guess is they're not going to, though, because they're probably playing an Oppo deck of some variety. And I'm not going to run into Oppo here. I'm going to leave my counter magic up as opposed to getting the true name down. There was another line where I wanted to just play out the TNN last turn over braiding, but I think, and that would have involved ditching a land for Mox Diamond, but I think I want to just allow them to try to draw out of this. And if they can, cool. If they can't, well, they have to draw basically a counter spell and a relevant card. Because right now I feel like I'm pretty favored, right? Okay. Take 5 then. That's your last card. Okay. You may have it back. So up to 3. They're going to get value off this thing. I could have countered that, but that seems really marginal to me. They drew a land for the turn, or got it off repeal. Alright, what is this going to be? Okay. This is fine. You obviously don't mana drain a Shardless Agent. It's not really something worth draining. Alright. Alright, Lightning Strike. Cool. Well, I can shoot something. At a minimum. Wouldn't say it's stellar, but it can definitely shoot something here, which is fine. Yep, you got it. They could fire up the Wandering Fumarole, too, if they really wanted to. Alright. I think I counter that, guys. I'll just drain it, whatever. Yep, I will continue. And now they're off the top of their deck. Yep. Okay. I don't think I need to play the land down here. They might as well get some beats in with their elves. Possibly even their Fumarole. Okay. This deck is really weird that we're playing against, guys. I don't know what is going on. So confused. Okay, Lotus Petal. Yep, whatever. This thing is all over the place. Alright. I might as well leave back the Thopter token. Why not? I suppose there's rationale to playing it just in case, like they draw Finks or something like that. Because I have absolutely no clue what they could play next. Like I really don't. Like this deck is just baffling to me. I don't know how it's won a game. She's just so all over. Like Thousand Year Storm in this deck. Like this is instant sorceries, right? And they played like a Whisperwood Elemental. All right. Well, I'm not going to judge too much, but I think it's going to be very hard to kill me. You draw a Thragtusk. Like Thragtusk keeps them in the game. Of note, they cannot flip over a Thragtusk from a Manifest token. I mean, yeah, I'll block. I mean, I'm gonna feel bad if I like have. I can't think of like an exiling effect, or not an exile, but a sack effect. I mean, hell, they could play Council's Judgment, and I would not be shocked at this point in the game. Yep, get a dude. There's no dude that flips up for life, right? Okay, what did they reveal? All right, compulsive in land. Okay, cool. All right, so dudes and stuff and things, and a lot of artifacts, and Ancient Grudge is going in, and probably Stomping Ground. Really, I don't know. I'll probably bring in the Grudge. I want to bring in Ground though. Stomping Ground's probably okay over a mountain. Do I want like the Dreadbores and stuff like that? I mean, they're kind of free, right? Cut this, cut this. I've just sideboarded this stuff every time, haven't I? Bring another mountain. Yep. Probably take on another mountain. Bring in a Dark Slick Shores. Actually, that should be an island, right? Bring one mountain back in. Alright, and then we are one card short, so we'll bring in, I think, Dreadbore. And then what else can we cut from this matchup? I mean, like possibly a Chrome Mox. And then bring in a Go for the Throat, maybe. I don't know. That may be thin, but I'm going to bring it in. I got 17 lands. I'm on the draw this time. This hand, again, looks stellar. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. And they hopefully don't do some silly stuff. Like, they have a bunch of fast mana into, like, fair cards. But, you know, them's the breaks, right? Alright, old D-Bore. D-Bore is miles away right now, but Jace will tend to make most things get there faster, right? So 4-color Storm cards plus fair cards. Okay, well, Ancient Grudge is online. I'll probably counter just about anything here just to put Jace down. Alright, they're not going to do anything. I guess I could play around Strip Mine here, but I'm not going to. So it's kind of weird. I have not played in the 01 part of the league in a while, and forgot how crazy some of these decks can be. Alright, slamming it. I think not good, sir. I mean, I hate to do that when I have a Jace and, you know, a Dreadbore available. Okay. I'll do this too. Seems good. Probably don't want to give me Snappy. Especially post Drain and post. Alright, well, I will certainly take this. And I'm going to leave up, I guess, Lightning Strike here. Alrighty. Okay, Ancestral Vision is fine. Well, mono tapped lands. Yay. So we're going to do this here, I think. Just play out TNN, leave up Counterspell. Alrighty, and say go. This also stops their lumbering falls if that was a side plan that they had kind of sequenced through. What is this? Upheaval as well? Wow, this deck is all over the place, guys. Got a lot of powerful cards just all over. They may just concede to that. Alright, so 2-1 with a pretty fair blue-red deck, but I think it was a good deck. We definitely drafted a lot differently than I typically do. Lost our round 1 to essentially what amounted to a ramp deck. Won our last 2 games against some very bizarre decks, like 4-color, sort of Reanimator, sort of other stuff, and then the last deck, I have no clue what was going on. It was just like random nonsense cards, like just smashed together, like powerful cube cards smashed together, and yeah, like it could have been Storm at the beginning of game 1, and then like they played like Whisperwood Elemental or whatever that card, yeah, Whisperwood Elemental, and then in game 2 they had Upheaval. It was just really weird. I don't know what to make of it. It was crazy. It looked cool though. Alright guys, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this cube. 2-1 results for blue-red. Had a time walk, had a lot of 2-drops, and had a Jace the Mind Sculptor, so I mean that kind of always tends to bring those style of decks together. Unfortunately, didn't have a really great top end, didn't have like Inferno Titan or something like that, and I think the deck was kind of lacking in the finisher department. But it did manage to go 2-1. Probably a soft 2-1 because the last 2 matchups were kind of weird. I don't think we fought against the best of decks. The first round, I think their deck was pretty good. More on the good side of like Legacy Cube good, but still a good deck nonetheless. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and take care now. And we'll probably be back for a little more later.